Hi, my name is Jeremy Ashworth. I'm the pastor at Circle of Peace Church here in Peoria, Arizona. We are an all ages, family friendly Christian church located in suburban Phoenix, making these little videos primarily with my church in mind, but they're open to anybody. So feel free to watch and share and whatever. This is not a sermon or a Bible study or anything like that. These are just the kind of conversations that maybe you and I would have if we were able to sit down on the couch together and just talk. So this is part 2 of a 2-part video series. I'm going to reference some things from that other video. You don't have to watch it, but it's probably helpful. Just look for me wearing this same black shirt. By the way, shout out to Driftwood Coffee. So years ago, my wife and I attended a class at a graduate school. And my experience in that class, just that 1 hour, wow, was just about life-changing. I mean, it made a huge impact on me. And I'll set it up for you. There had been something really bad go down in the school. Really bad. It had just gone public and students were ticked. I mean, it was a really, really tense, really, really uncomfortable environment. We had just walked in. We didn't know the background. Later we learned, but we knew as soon as we walked in the room, this is almost a hostile environment. I mean, just a classroom and a teacher, but wow, lots of tension. So the students were mad, and the students kind of took that out on the professor. Now, the professor didn't do anything wrong. He was spotless. But they were mad, they were tense, they were kind of taking it out on the prof, and they took it out on the prof in the form of being like argumentative and nitpicky. They weren't directly talking about the issue, they were just arguing about everything he said. And, you know, that wasn't fun, but it was amazing. And what was amazing was how the professor responded to the students in that time. I mean, they were really, really escalated. And he was just like Tai Chi master. I mean, like he was, heard what they had to say and responded to them fairly. They weren't treating him fairly, but he responded to them in such a way, it just blew my mind. And there's one thing in particular that he did and said that I want to share with you. Okay, here it is. Whenever the professor would make a statement, I mean, he's just teaching from his notes, right? He would make a statement, teaching something. And immediately the students would say, well, what about this? I mean, he's making a point for that. And they'd say, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I never forget what he said. Over and over again, as this would happen, he would say to them, what you're saying is valid. Like, your statement is valid. But I can only say one thing at a time. I can only make one statement at a time. So I make a statement, and you go, well, what about this? Well, I'm not saying this isn't valid, but I can only say one thing at a time. What you're saying is valid. What I'm saying is also valid. And it was amazing because they were everybody was so escalated and wound so tightly. And he was just able to show them kind of the absurdity of their argumentativeness. And he was able, in a way, to de-escalate a little bit and not fall into the trap of getting sucked into that tension. Anyway, I just thought it was really, really helpful. I can only say one thing at a time. Okay, now take this and put this together with what I said in the other video. We can only say one thing at a time. But 2 things can be true at the same time. Right? Peanut butter is delicious. Jelly is also delicious, right? We can only say one thing at a time. We can only make one statement at a time. We can only speak one sentence at a time. And yet, the way the world is, the way the truth is, multiple things can be true at the same time. That has really been helpful to me, to be able to listen to what people are saying. That has been helpful to me to be able to, not only when I speak, but also when I listen to folks, just to always bear that in mind. They can only say one thing at a time. And yet, two things can be true at the same time. So many things can be true at the same time. I think it just helps keep conversations fair. So, hope this was helpful to you. It's super helpful to me. Love you guys. I miss you guys. And would love to hear from you. Okay, take care. Bye.